All right, I'm going to level with you. Sometimes I get tagged in something, sent something, and I legitimately don't believe that it's real. Like, I see the headline or something, but then I can barely find any other information about it, and I just don't think that it actually happened. This was one of those times. It's one of the crazier things I've ever seen, but not in a good way. I mean, like, it is really, really awful and just insanity around the game of football in a way that you just really hate to see. And I was able to dig into it, and I was able to find a couple of articles about it. So I'm fairly certain that this happened. And it happened in the Algerian second division. The Algerian second division, which honestly, decently high level of football, obviously way off the beaten path, but I mean, solid-sized stadiums, solid-sized fan bases, as we're going to come to learn, and decent quality players, guys that used to play in the Algerian national team or whatever, used to play in the African Champions League all the time. And it's a very, very good race right now. There's only one promotion spot that will get you up to the top division, right? Because there's two different sections here. We have the Center West, which is currently being led by Ben Aknoun, who are on the way to getting promoted to the top league. The top league being the only fully national league in Algeria. And then we have the Center East section, which is basically led by Rousset and Harash. USM El Harash is the name of that team. Then Ben Aknoun's got the 6-point lead on Kuba. Rousset's got the 5-point lead on El Harash, but this match never happened. It was scheduled to happen. It was actually supposed to happen like 2 days ago, but it didn't. And this is obviously like the most important match you could have all season, right? There's 30 matches of you playing every team in your division twice. This is match day 21. If El Harash is able to win, right, then they would be within 2 points of Rousset. If Rousset is able to win, then they would be 8 points clear of El Harash. That is the old 6-point swing late in the season that can make it comfortable or incredibly sweaty, that can keep El Harash alive or can knock them out of the competition entirely. That was what was going to be decided, and it was going to be a very exciting day, I would imagine. If you're a fan of one of these two teams, you're probably super gassed up for this game. But there are some people, I would say, that got a little bit too gassed up. There's nothing graphic in this video, but it's 2.5 minutes long, and it's chaos. Basically, before the game, as USM Harash is warming up, the match is at Rousset. A couple people start to get on the field and cause some ruckus, and it was described as hooligan violence, I believe. Chaos erupted. Can I not highlight on this website? All right. Chaos erupted before kickoff, with what was described as acts of hooliganism disrupting proceedings, according to Afric And here's a video taken by somebody that's rolling with USM while this all is happening. Multiple players are struck by rocks. You don't necessarily see that happen in this video, but you will see rocks flying by and just get the vibe of the general chaos of what's going on. But that's what's happening. They are in the stands throwing rocks onto the field, and there are some people that are coming onto the field throwing rocks. Here's a picture that somebody tweeted out of one of the supporters, like, that is not a small rock, dude. This is not throwing pebbles into the lake here. These are really significant, like, serious injury damage type rocks. But there you go. This isn't copyrighted, so we can finally actually watch something.
السلام عليكم خوتنا عليك صدموا لينا الكير عليك صدموا تعدوا على لي جوار ليك ابقاسوا لي جوار ديالنا هامليك ابقاسوا لي جوار تاعنا تعدوا عليهم يا هامليك تعدوا على لي جوار تاعنا هاني نربطوا صالح هامليك شوف ليك يا تيجاز ها فوزي هامليك هامليك دور تاعنا قمتوا ليه
I mean, look, I don't know what he's saying, obviously, because I don't speak the language, but this is one of the worst incidents of fans going over the, like, we have had fan-on-fan violence before, and we have had fan-on-player kind of threats before, and we have been, we've been looking at Colombian Cup matches where dudes are throwing drinks and stuff at people or beer bottles, but this is different. Okay, this is completely different. This is like not even debatably a crime. This is just committing violent crime, right? You've got multiple players and members of staff that you see in the first like 30 seconds that are down on the field because they've been hit with something. And it is just so dang sad to have what should be a testament to Algerian football, right? This incredible, like, I could see us making a Zealandism about this match if it was really interesting, right? In a good way. If it was down to the last second and, you know, there's a great comeback by Harash and that managed to bring the league close and these two teams are going to be racing into the finish line with 9 matches to go. But instead, you've got an organized hooligan attack against USA. I just can't even begin to understand the motivation here. Because I'm sure there are fans of Rousset that are not in on this. It's in a lot of instances like this, it's never the majority, right? It's just a group of people that have decided that being an adult is hard and they want to make their entire, like literally their entire personality and their entire life making sure that they are doing everything in their twisted mind to support their club. And somehow that includes attacking people. No, you're not a fan of the team. You just like violence. You just like being a dick and being an awful person. Right. And you're using being a football fan as a way to cover that. Now, I don't know the backstory to this. I don't need to know the backstory. Algeria, to the best of my knowledge, is a fairly functional football federation. We're gonna watch the rest of the video, obviously. But it's not like this football federation is letting these sorts of things go unpunished. Right? They're instantly taking action to try and punish the people that perpetrated it. They're working on rescheduling the match in a neutral site, empty venue to prevent stuff like this from being able to happen again. They've put out calls to try and stop this. Now, Algeria and North Africa writ large has a lot of issues with in-stadium violence. We've talked about Libya having just wild in-stadium violence going on before, and it is definitely a regional issue. Right, that I would assume all of these different FAs are trying to solve in their own ways. I mean, Egypt had no fans and stands for years after one of the most horrific fan violent stampede kind of events that's happened anywhere in the world ever. Right, so there's these federations are obviously fighting a losing battle. And there's an entirely separate takeaway from this, which is why would you ever want to go play in Algeria if you're watching something like this happen? But the biggest takeaway from me is this group of just assholes that decided that this was, like, if you're a fan of a club, you want to watch your club play in these games. This is the match that you want to watch your club win. Those are the best experiences as a fan. And I feel like based off watching this happening before the game, that they went in with the expressed plan to try and make sure that wouldn't happen. It's like they don't even understand the point of fandom, which is to try and cheer your team on, put on an impressive, potentially even intimidating atmosphere, not actual physical threat of violence, in order to try and root your team on and then be able to celebrate great victories. This isn't celebrating a victory. This is assault. This is just assault.
هاملك هاي الاستاد يوني فوتوغراف تاعهم هاملك ليك شو عامل صوتي ها هاملك كم جايين شو الاستاد كلش قاعد شو ليك لحجر شو.
That dude's actually walking by showing the camera a rock. So this next section is him walking along what looks kind of like a track around the stadium, showing all of the rocks that have been thrown into the stands. Sorry, thrown in from the stands? I think you get it. That's one of the fans that managed to get by the security and is literally just in there throwing a rock at people. That's crazy. This is insane, right? There's a certain, and this could have been way worse. I mean, I'm going to be honest. The police look outgunned here, right? And they're doing all they can. They're not like stepping out of the way here. You see them trying to block these guys off, trying to keep them in the stands, but this could have been worse. There was like a group mentality thing going on here and a real tension, like a boiling point that had been reached. This absolutely could have been worse, but that's why he's just running back. This is happening over minutes, and he's picking up a rock and just throwing it into a group of players again. And it goes on and on, obviously, like that. I mean, it's just really, 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 really bad. It's really bad. Like, if you're a foreign player, why would you ever want to go play in Algeria? Just watching that video and knowing that that sort of thing is possible. I can't even begin to put myself in position to think what, the people that are actually doing it, why they're doing it. I'm sure nobody ever believes they're the bad guy, right? I'm sure they have convinced themselves that there is some reason that they think that this is justified, but there is no way that it is. To be throwing all these rocks in this, I mean, just this club should be playing in an empty stadium for the rest of the year. Probably for the rest, like the next couple years after this. This is just downright stupid and dangerous. The point of a football league is to get clubs together from different areas and play each other in, competition. It is not to, the threat of imminent death by rock flying through the air. And it wasn't just rock. This is a picture of the manager. And according to multiple of the sources that I found, the manager apparently, because you have all these guys running around in the field, had acid thrown in his face. Now they're still trying to figure out exactly what the extent of the damage is from that. But like an actual coordinated acid attack on the manager. Fuck no, dude. What the hell? The referee obviously assessed the situation, decided the match shouldn't happen, got the teams off the field as quickly as he could, which was obviously very difficult. And according to reports, this has sparked obviously criminal investigations as well as just, Algerian world of football investigations. But you can understand why when I was initially sent all this stuff that I thought that it was not real, because the fact that it is real just sucks so incredibly massively. There is no highbrow takeaway from this. Just the fact that this sort of thing can happen around a football match in certain parts of the world, in Algeria in this case, is, just sad. It is.